the Dutch province of Friesland, it's possible to travel between inland towns by boat only, navigating a network of canals that are sometimes barely larger than ditches. Join us as we journey through the countryside, visit a small town for lunch, and learn about Dutch canal boating with our fearless captain, Hoob. We're here!
You made it!
Aladino and I have been passing the days in the boatyard applying coats of varnish onto Magic Carpet's cabin top, and then waiting for it to dry. It's been a relaxed work pace, and in just 2 more weeks we'll be back on the water ready to sail north to Scandinavia. But while we wait for the varnish to dry, we're going boating. Well, it wouldn't be a trip to Friesland if we didn't have a boating adventure with Hoob. All right, Hoob, can we come aboard?
Yep, come aboard.
I'm sure you guys all know him from previous videos. We've gone sailing on the beautiful Maud before, which is this flat-bottom ship right next to me. But today we're going on a different kind of Dutch boat adventure. We're going in the little, what do you call it, Hoob? A sloopje?
Sloopje. Do I see the rudder? No.
Hoob always likes to make Aladino sweat a little bit by getting him to do the maneuvers in a new boat.
It's too difficult for me.
The Netherlands has water almost everywhere, including networks of tiny little canals accessible only to tiny little boats. We've already explored the shallow seas of the north with Hoob and his flat-bottomed boat Maud, but now we will explore the tiny waterways of Friesland, a veritable highway network of canals that link small towns together. As we chugged along the calm water, it brought me right back to France when Aladino and I took our sailboat through the canals on our journey north.
Way back. Okay. It is okay. Watch your hand. Okay. Oh man. Yeah. Oh.
You can't see for a moment. You really have to duck and you can't see forward for a moment. My fellow Swiss ancestry.
Hoob and his wife Ina have become like our local family in Friesland, and off camera we've shared many meals with them. Hoob has even helped Aladino out a lot in the boatyard, which you'll see more of later. They've really made us feel a sense of home here, so thank you Hoob and Ina for being our Stavoren family.
Wonderful experience. I like to collect experience on all tuk-tuks of the world.
Tuk-tuks. Yeah, tuk-tuks.
Every boat is different.
This is fun. This is like a picnic boating experience.
Yeah.
Hoob has his safari outfit on. We're going on a...
It's a safari, hitting lambs
Upper.
and ducks.
What should I do? Bad luck, bad day. What should I do?
Aladino is repairing something.
Classic.
Not anymore. There's a knot that is loose. Woo! Sea legs.
We're now stepping away from the comfort and safety of the boat, ready to take on something unknown and potentially dangerous. This is it right here.
I think it's safe. You see a bit of old stones here. Then they put sand in it, but the remains are clear.
That would have been the bridge that goes over it.
That goes over it. Belgium hardstone, I think.
This old lock used to protect the Frisian towns from the wrath of the sea. This used to be a saltwater port, filled with trading ships and fishermen, bringing wealth and sustenance to the coastal communities. But now the water here is fresh, after a dike was built in the 1930s, blocking the sea from entering. Suddenly, these coastal communities were no longer coastal. The lockkeeper's house was no longer occupied by a lockkeeper. No fishing boats tie up here. This sign says that the last fisherman, Auke Zeldenroost, fished until 1953. The lock was closed in the 60s. Here's the IJsselmeer.
Yeah.
And just over here, a lot of the land is actually lower
Yep.
than the
And
water
absolutely.
level. Yeah.
The normal level of Friesland is 20 centimeters below IJsselmeer level.
Okay.
And that,
Does that ever cause you any anxiety, or do you have complete faith in the structures?
yes, because my ancestors since 500 or 1,000 years are used to it. So it's not very, it's normal.
Yeah.
Has there
But I
ever...
spoke people who living in Lelystad, for instance, and that is 5 to 7 meters below sea level. Below
Okay.
the sea level.
Yeah.
And he hated it.
Okay.
And he moved. He
Oh,
moved
really?
over. Yeah, he's now living
Just because
in
of the
Eimingen.
idea.
Yeah.
And that's 20
the
meters
idea.
above.
Totally.
Oh, interesting.
But
Yeah.
well,
And have there been floods? Have there ever been an accident?
1952 in Zeeland, 1,500 casualties
Really?
died. Yes, that was the great floods, but also here in the north and in Germany also. That was a northwestern wind.
Oh,
It was
wow.
high tide, and dikes were not so in a good shape after the war,
Like now. Yeah.
after the Second World War. So that was a very big event. Yeah, water levels and treatment, and yeah, that's
Very well
when
figured
they,
out.
when they stopped doing it, we will flood.
Yeah.
we are gone. Yeah,
Yeah. No, there is good management
Yeah.
for that.
yeah,
There is.
absolutely. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. And these are the remains of the old harbor on the outside.
Ah, okay. Yeah, there was a nice little bay.
Yeah, it is totally sanded.
After such an intense expedition, it's time to refuel. We have some chips and coffee and snacks. And so the Dutch safari continued with a small snack and a discussion about the engine, and finally, we were ready to go.
Yeah.
The open fields slowly turned into buildings as we entered the town of Hindelopen. We're here!
You made it!
Nice.
Some lunch and a stroll through town. Hindelopen was once a seafaring town, and these tiny narrow houses on the canal used to be captains' houses, where captains would stay after returning from their difficult journeys. Although the IJsselmeer is now a freshwater lake, protected from the North Sea with huge dikes, it used to actually be a saltwater bay called the Zuiderzee, or South Sea, renowned for cold and rough weather. Imagine what relief it would have been to come in from such a voyage to this peaceful town and small brick house.
This is a lifting bridge, but a special one. They don't lift the whole bridge deck, what is normal, but just this piece. They can open it. Here is the rock that they use it for, and then such a boat like that one can pass only with the mast in between, and then they can go through the lock to the Zuiderzee.
Nice.
Time to start the journey home. Would take a different route this time, passing nearby the town of Kudum. I tried steering while Aladino took the camera. Horses grazed along the canal, and then Hoob steered us towards another stop, a place with some special significance for him.
Here,
Oh, okay.
there we land.
I did an absolutely horrible job maneuvering the boat towards the dock, but fortunately Aladino didn't film it to save me from embarrassment. And lucky for me, it wasn't a busy dock.
Hey, hè? Oh. I don't know this. Do you see that rooftop? On that place there was a farm.
Oh, sticking out of the water.
Sticking
Yes.
out of the water, and the piece of on top of it, it's called an ulebord, an aalboor. It's also on all the farms here. Over there you see one, and over there and over there. But this one is from, and the place is called the Wolventinne, and it was from the family De Wolf. The Wolf. My grandmother is from here. She was called Vrouwtje de Wolf.
And
But
now,
now
it's
a nature
a beautiful bird sanctuary.
And how did it end up in the water?
It was demolished, the farm, by flooding in the 1800s, 1840 something, and not much later it was taken down totally. 10 years ago they changed the whole situation here and made a little nature piece of it for the birds and all the nature. Actually, all the nature in the Netherlands is man-made.
An old homestead, a Dutch version of nature, and now for the homeward stretch. End of the journey.
This is a bit more. So. Oh, phew. It's like a steam engine. Eh? Yeah.
Now, for those of you who have been with us for a while, perhaps you remember Hoob's other boat, Maud, and all of the adventures we've had with her. Although we've filmed a lot of sailing footage on Maud, we never really filmed the interior. So let's just do a quick tour of a traditional Dutch Lemste Ark. And actually, this will also be our last chance to step on board Maud, because she has now been sold to a new owner. Hoob is looking for a smaller sailing vessel, and hopefully Maud will have many new adventures with her new owner. Thank you all so much for watching. Next week will be our last land-based episode before we put Magic Carpet back into the water. And then a whole summer of sailing will stretch out before us. It's been far too long without a sailing adventure, and we can't wait to get back out there and start sharing more voyaging videos with you all. Huge thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the episode, please give us a thumbs up, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel. If you really like what we do and would like to help support us in the making of these videos, please check out our Patreon account. For as little as $2 a month, it's very flexible what you pay. You can get access to behind the scenes content every week where I talk about our real-time updates, since these videos are never in real time, and those articles and videos that I publish on Patreon every week are never published anywhere else, so those are exclusive. An extra big thank you to these folks who always go the extra mile to make sure that Magic Carpet keeps being produced, and we will see you all next Friday.